I always remember Nobama as being so gentle and patient with all of us, and how she was always so generous with her time, making the giant trips all the way down to New Zealand to come and see us and spend summer with us. I was lucky to spend so many of my holidays with Nobama growing up in Canada, Australia, and of course New Zealand. I think one of the best summers together was when we were down at the lakes in New Zealand. There was one amazing day where we went exploring on the boat to Hotwater Beach. Nobama found it hard to get out of the boat, so I carried her like a backpack to the shore. And we sat on the beach digging holes and letting them fill up with hot geothermal water to lie down in. Days like that took me back to all the time spent at Omaha with Nobama and Nobapa, building sandcastles on the beach together. Outside of our time out and about in the New Zealand summer, I remember, like many of us today, all the time spent cooking. The mountains of polenta with lemon and sugar, or ham and cottage cheese. I'm going to miss the chances to sit and chat, cook, or catch up on my life over the phone. I love you, Nobama.
Feels hard to put all of what somebody meant to you in a few minutes or in a few words, but it was so nice growing up in Ladner to have her so close by to look after us, and as we grew up and coming to all the sporting events and becoming the biggest fan of Ladner hockey and baseball, just always being there to support me and Michael. In high school, coming back from Vancouver College, there's a bus stop right outside their apartment, and so just stopping by, and I always really love talking to her about anything. She has one of the craziest lives I've ever heard of or read in any book. You know, growing up in Hungary in the pre-war years, and then being a little kid in World War II, getting polio, living in the cellar of their apartment building, getting bombed, and I think going out to the country at some point and having to like eat their dead frozen horses. Tells those stories with like a smile on her face, like it was a big adventure. And then when the revolution happened too, picking up your whole life. I mean, my life is what it is, and is so much better because of the incredible sacrifices that her and her family made. And then coming to Canada, and for a woman in the 50s to go into STEM sciences, but especially in Canada, as far as I know, that was not very common. She was maybe one of only a few in her class, if not the only one. It's a different kind of courage than surviving war and occupation, but it's so incredible to me. And she's definitely a big inspiration to go into science, and felt like I was maybe carrying on her legacy a little bit. I think I've told people this before. Actually, I think Elizabeth, pretty soon after we met, she asked me who was my biggest inspiration or who I most admired or something. And I think without a doubt said my grandma, because she's absolutely the most incredible person that I've ever met, both from the crazy experiences and life experiences that she went through and persevered through, the intelligence, the cooking, and just being such a warm and friendly and witty and funny and sharp person. Really one of the very best human beings that I've ever known.
When I think of Namama, I often think of her food. We spent a lot of time cooking up storms, teaching me the recipes of her and my mum's childhood. During the hours rolling reitesh or braiding kolach, she never once told me off for licking the spoon or stealing half the cherries. She was an incredibly kind and patient grandma who took every request for knowledge or question about her life seriously. During our time spent together in the kitchen, she told me the stories of Dady cooking wheat kernels in the apartment, the amazing story of her escape to Canada, and the joy of eating oranges once she arrived in the West. Despite the great distance between Ladner and Auckland, I always feel close to her when I'm in the kitchen. Whether it's making bread, cooking a pot of chicken poplica in the winter, or pouring a tall glass of wine at dinner, I am able to feel close to her. Moreover, thinking back on our time together, I am always amazed at the amount of time we got to spend with each other. The months in Omaha as a kid, the long holiday by the lakes, skiing in Whistler, she was a large presence in my life despite the distance. Although I know I won't be able to build another Polachinta tower with her again, I take comfort in the knowledge that some of her life and skills will live on through me. Nomama lived an amazing life and was a truly incredible woman. I am so amazingly proud to be her grandson.